Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here. Podcast Pete is what I'm trying to get my mom to say, but that's a hard one. We're creatures of habit. Okay, so what are we going to do different this year? What can we do that'll make a difference in your life and business? Well, why should I make calls and connect this year? Why should I make calls and connect this year? I'm going to give you 3 tips. Okay. First, call. Don't text. Call. I had a person, I won't mention his name. This person worked for him for 1 year. 1 year. Okay. 12 months. And I said, how many times do you talk to X? Twice. Every 6 months, a person that works for you, you're calling them and talking to them. I noticed when I said something and he said, I'll email her. I was saying, like, pick up the phone and talk to the person. Text does not have emotion. It just doesn't. Can't tell the tone of the voice. You can't ask the questions. You can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Before you know it, you're like 20 minutes has gone by and you don't really know what you're talking about. Pick up the phone. Call. I make 10 calls a day, up to. I try to get 10. Sometimes I don't. But I do connect with people. The richness of connection is the richness of relationships. You can't have a relationship with a person that you only talk to twice a year. That's crazy. But that's the kind of mindset that we get into if we don't push, challenge, connect. You can't see me, but I've been doing it for 2 years. Every time I think of this, I wear 2 different colored shoes. A blue one on my left foot and a red one on my right. I usually keep them there. I do swap them out occasionally, but that's kind of what it's been. Why do I do it? Besides being really weird? Okay. I do it so people will talk to me, ask me, have a conversation with me. Do you know you have 2 colored shoes? And I say, oh my gosh, what the heck happened this morning? And then we start talking. And then I tell them the truth. I do it intentionally because you'll talk to me and we'll have a conversation and we'll connect. And I'll ask you, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What do you want to do with your life? And if you don't have conversations with people, you fall into a habit of being disconnected. So make the phone calls, make the connections, have the conversations. Maybe it's 3 C's: calls, connections, conversations. Well, man, that's pretty good. Oh, let me put this up here. Make the calls to make the connection. Connect with people. Come on now. We're starting the new year. So this is like a New Year's resolution. This is one that a gift that will keep on giving. I started doing it by accident. It was about, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2.5. I had to wear a boot because I had a stroke and I had to learn how to walk. It's called an AFO. So I had to learn how to walk. And so putting that on, I didn't change out shoes. So I left a tennis shoe on there. And then I don't know if it was by accident or not, But anyway, I started putting a blue shoe on the one AFO, and I love red. You can see red and blue right in the background. Now I wear maroon today because the Hokies are playing today. We hope a better outcome. Okay, let's get focused here. Okay, so I start out, and lo and behold, people are talking to me because it's kind of like if somebody's different, let's just say they're in a wheelchair, which I'm in one right now. Not that I do it, I would use a wheelchair all day, but I spent, long time. They're 39, probably, at least 49, 65, 75 days in a wheelchair after my stroke. Now, it's the most comfortable chair that I can wear now because it's my desk chair. Okay. And there's a reason why, because turning and all, but that's different. So here's what happens is you see somebody in a wheelchair and you're like, what do I say to them? I don't, so people don't connect with people that have physical challenges. I noticed it because people are like, they wouldn't, until I started wearing two different color shoes, they didn't ask me like, what, because I wear shorts, and they could see I had this brace on, but they didn't ask because I guess they're afraid. It's kind of like something tragic in somebody's life happens, and it's like, what do I say to them? How are you doing? Is a good start. Uh, how are you handling the trauma, the tragedy, the stress, whatever? How are you handling that right now? Ask them. People don't mind sharing, but if you don't ask, they're not going to share. So what happened is people would talk to me. They would talk to me. They would ask me questions. Oh, why do you wear that AFO? Well, I'm learning to walk again. Why you learn to walk again? I had a stroke and it took out my left side. Dang, I'm sorry. I said, well, it depends on what you think. I mean, is it another challenge in a person's life? Maybe. It wasn't mine. It wasn't nearly as bad as growing up dyslexic and ADD, because that's a absolute. Let me try to think. I get emotional when I talk about it. You're living in shame your whole life. Your whole life. Why? Because you misspell words, you run late trying to get one more thing done, you have an active brain, but the brain operates completely different than everybody else. So before voice to text, Alexa, Siri, all the different voice activated commands, now Siri's going on. So you can hear it in the background. Oh yeah, let me try. I have to be careful when I say a word. Okay, those words. But when you live in shame, it's like you have a dark cloud over you. So I know 40 years of shame. So when the person said, I'm sorry to hear that, I said, hey, it's all the context of your journey. Like, what did you have to go through? You don't know what a person has had to go through. So I'm used to overcoming. I'm used to being fearful to send out an email. I'm used to being trying to get one more thing done because I've got so much on my plate. So it's when I slowed down for 49 days and thought and started to think, it was a beautiful thing. I got a chance to think, this could have been over. And as Anya said at Shepherd, do you realize, she said, can I share something with you personal? I said, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So please. And we had developed a connection because the Ukraine war was starting and she's from Ukraine and her family's there. So we started talking and we would pray. And so there was a lot of connection there. And when you're sitting in a bed, can't move, somebody's got to move you, prop you up, feed you. I mean, you're on intravenous, you're being fed through a tube until you can take solid foods. You are pretty much humbled. It's like you gets down to the core of who you are. So she says to me, do you know the kind of stroke you had? A brain bleed. People don't usually survive. And if they do, they're a lot worse than you. And I'm going, really? My whole left side's out? People are worse? Yes, they are. So it kind of put a mindset, a perspective, a context to the struggle, to the trauma, the stress, all the things. Dang, I'm alive. I'm alive. I survived. Now, what am I going to do with that gift? That's the impact mindset that kicks in. Then you say, well, I survived. And for me, it's more than that, but that's a subject for another day. So I'm now thinking, well, I got to learn how to eat. I got to learn how to go to the bathroom. I got to learn how to talk. I got to learn how to walk. I got to learn all these new skills. Okay, let's get to work. And it was a journey. Still, 3 years later, still trying to walk, trying to run. My goal this year is to run a 5K. So I was sharing that with Crystal, who's my health and fitness coach. So, you have to have big goals. You don't know what's possible. I mean, well, let me just backtrack here. Let's stay on the course about connections and calls. Okay. So what it did is every time somebody delivered the mail, which they did daily, and I was so thankful because people that sent me, cards of encouragement, it was wonderful to hear, to read, to connect with the people that would deliver. I'd have conversations with them. I would have conversations with the 72 people I met at Shepherd. I know them by name, 72 people. That's something for another day. But that's the connection. Know people's names. Take the time. It's easy to say, oh, I'm not good with names. I'm not good at remembering names. You just haven't been trained. So train yourself. There's plenty out there. How to remember names, Google it. Jim Quick is the best. He's the brain coach, and he has Limitless. So that's how I've always been a geek at that because I wasn't an academic scholar by any means. I flunked English in high school, trauma, failed 2 times out of Virginia Tech, trauma. But there's a thing called PTSG, not D, G, post traumatic stress growth. And that's it's an unbelievable thing when you can grow out of your tragedy, your stress, your, messiness. So I always looked at it. How can I grow? How can I grow? So back at 18, I started listening to books. Now, I don't know if it was back then. I started reading books, tapes, and all that. I geeked out. I geeked out because I wanted to grow through the trauma. I didn't have a choice. You got to either grow or not. So you flunk English, and that's my primary language. I don't speak French, Spanish, German, Portuguese. I don't speak any other languages. And you can't even pass your own language. That's kind of humbling. But anyway, but your post traumatic stress growth. So if you're out there and you're in the middle of a storm, it doesn't, storms go away. They do end. Is it tough when you're in the storm? Absolutely, positively, yes, yes, yes. But keep moving, keep growing. What did you learn when you came out of the storm? Look at it as a growth opportunity, an opportunity that's been served to you to grow. And there's nothing better than having a mindset of growth. Let me see. Let me put this up here. Yeah. So make calls to make connections. Make calls to make connections. Yeah. Okay. So 2. Let me look at my notes here. Call people, and let me put up a little color graphic. Level up your peer group. Call people. Say, hey, Joe, how can I support you this year? What are you working on this year that I can support you? If you look at this circle, you have your family, you have your close friends, you have your clients, you have your coworkers, you have your industrial leaders. That's a circle. And a circle and how you connect with people is intentional. If you lack the skills of talking on the phone, then that's just a skill to learn. Sometimes we've gotten in a habit of texting everything and we forget to connect. Well, change. Say, instead of texting, I'm going to pick up the phone. Well, I'm busy. Busy doing what? Doing another task list of 20 things that you get half of them done. Then you feel like, dang, I only got half of them done. But you call and you make connections. And emotionally, it's night and day because you're talking to people. And have a servant to impact that, to say, what are you working on that I can support you with? What are you doing differently this year versus last year? Have that conversation. Have conversations. Do you need to have 2 colored shoes on? Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I'll tell you, you'll get the best conversations. I was just in ALO yesterday. And this lady, Monica, this is for you. Monica was just bringing the joy. Bringing the joy. And she asked me about my shoes. I mean, I don't know how she saw it, but she did. But we had a great conversation about life. And maybe if I didn't have 2 color shoes, she wouldn't have asked me. But by her asking me and her bringing the joy, she was full of joy. And if you haven't been to ALO and you're in Atlanta, Woodstock, Kennesaw, I think they got, there's another couple. Go check them out. AYLO, ALO. Took me a month to figure out how to say it, but now it's just easy. ALO. It's a made up word. Like Rolex. Rolex is a made up word, not a real word. They made it up. So, that's the kind of thing you're separating yourself. It's a completely different healthcare experience. The people are joyful to serve you. I'm talking about it. You want your business where people are talking about it. If you're that good, people will talk about you. So think about this year. How am I going to be so good that people will talk about it? We'll pick up the phone and make the connections. Quit going a whole year and talking to your employees twice. That's insane. Every time I think about that, I find it hard to believe, really. I asked the person, and it is. So, and what's the person's business? I'm not going to tell you, but I was a client, and he hadn't had a client in 6 months. That's because he's thinking small. He's hiding behind a computer. Doing what? I don't know. Daily tasks of whatever. Don't hide behind your computer. Get out, connect with people, talk to people. Talk to people. Make the connection. Okay. So, the quality of your relationships is the quality of your life. No, excuse me. That's a dyslexia. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So if you're doing this level up your peer group, now this is Brendon Burchard. This is his concept. All I'm doing is teaching it. Okay. So start with your family. Pick up the phone. Call them. When my daughters, they text me, I pick up the phone and call. My mom, well, she can't text, but I call. Have a conversation. Ask some questions. How can you serve them? Hey, what are you working on this year that I can support you with? What are you doing to do different this year versus last year? I mean, if a person's not going to change, they're not going to push, they're not going to exert themselves, they're not going to be bold, they're not going to want to make an impact, another year will go by and you'll wonder what happened. You don't want to be in that camp. So I'm going to give you something. Go to PeteKane.me/growth day. Now, you get 7 days free of Brendon Burchard, who created and taught this. 7 days, him talking to you. He's a number one person. This community is 500,000 at the time of this recording. That's what I think. I don't know the exact numbers, but I hear 500,000 people in 192 countries. You don't expand to 192 countries and have 500,000 in a short period of time unless you're so valuable people talk about it, like I'm doing to you. So you're thinking, $50 a month? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Challenge. You're the best investment you could ever make. So invest in yourself. And then when you get it, send me an email at support@PeteKane.me and I'll send you a free course. Mindset, goals, and habits. Mindset, goals, and habits. We sell it for $300 or $50 a month for 12 weeks. Either way, we'll give you a free course. I want you to be the best this year. I want you to lean into connection, lean into calls, making the connection, making the calls. Holy mackerel, 23 minutes. I got a little long here. So if you want this, no, you have it. I'll put Growth Day Connection in the show notes, but here's what I want to really give you. You want to make a difference in your life? You want to create generational wealth this year? Not that you'll create it in 1 year, but you'll be on the trajectory to do it. Take our masterclass, our ecosystem. There's a key word in there, ecosystem. There's one company that's the most valuable company in the world. Each employee averages $2 million. You guessed it, Apple. The ecosystem started out iTunes. Then it's gone on to the app world. Then it just has evolved into the most valuable company in the world. So get our ecosystem for free. You don't have to give me anything. You don't have to give me anything, but take it. Ecosystem, PeteKane.me/masterclass for you. And I always want to know what your goals are, your dreams. What do you want to do? Brendon just did a New Year's framework. And he said something about, oh, this might seem like pressure that I've got to push, push, push. I got to exert myself. I've got to be accountable to somebody. And there were some other things in there. But he used the coal and diamond. Man, do you want to be a piece of coal at the end of the year because you never pushed yourself? How do diamonds come out? Pressure, pressure. Lean into pressure in your life. Lean into pressure in your life. Kind of accept it. I love it. It's a challenge. So look, I have a stroke. I lose the ability to play golf. I played 5 days a week. I played since I was 15 years old. And I love it because the strategy is being outdoors. It's connection with people. There's so many cool things about it. Don't have that anymore. I run in 25 peach trees. Don't run in them anymore, but will be in the future. But 3 years, I'm not running. That was my sanctuary to thinking. Golf was my thinking. I would love to compete. I loved to compete. Miguel, we had many cool matches. We would compete, and he's a competitor. Oh, is he a competitor? And so we would play, and some other friends. We had some fun times. Still do. Well, we still will. I played at Pine Tree. But anyway, I would come in hot because I was trying to get so much done in a short period of time. I wouldn't warm up. I just come in and jump on the tee and rip it, and then play 9 holes every afternoon, or almost afternoon. Saturday I play in the morning, and Sunday in the afternoon. So, not playing anymore. That's like, dang, that's not good. Well, all you do is it's kind of like when you get dealt cards, you got to play them. You don't have a choice. Hey, let's redeal. No, you get your cards, you got to figure it out. So now my time is I get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to get up at 5. I don't do 5 anymore. I do earlier. And I think, and I write, and I apply, I implement. I put the pressure on myself every single day, because I love it. I love it. And I've just, whatever it is, I could tell you some things, but I challenge myself every 30 days to something new that I can come up with. I just challenge myself to do without a car for 30 days. Sold my car. Burn the bridge. No, burn. What is it that saying? Burn. No plan B. Burn something. Hold on. Yeah, it's burn the boats. Burn the boats. Burn the boats. So I live in the suburbs. I don't live in the city where it's easier to get around, get on a scooter. I just wanted to see what it's like. Figure it out. Christmas Eve, I'm Ubering to my church and Ubering back. $40 to go to church. You might say, that's crazy. Well, just wanted to figure it out. That was kind of the first part of it. And I was fortunate enough that my son-in-law can sell it. So, figure it out. Got Uber, you got all kinds of options out there. But if you never put yourself in an uncomfortable position of figuring it out, I got to connect with people. I've got to ask people maybe for a ride sometime and then hang out with somebody. Man, is that cool or what? Yes, connection. Back to connection. Cars and connection. I'm on the seas. Cars and connections. So now I'm having great. Mike Dupree, I called him up and I said, hey, could you meet me out at my son-in-law's and pick me up? And so he did. He was in Calhoun or Cartersville. He was in Cartersville, another C. He said, yeah, I'll swing by. So he swung by, picked me up. We had a great conversation and he dropped me off. So would I have had that if I hadn't given up my car? No, I wouldn't have that conversation. So you have to have conversations with people. You got to connect with people. Part of our mess that we've been in for the last 4 years is we don't talk to each other. You don't understand. I don't believe in everything that I'm friends with a person. They may believe completely different. I still have conversations with them. And I still enjoy connecting, even though my beliefs can be completely different. I still enjoy the diversity of thinking, of conversation. So have conversations. I heard somewhere the other day that we all know what happened in the elections. Thank goodness. Kind of see where I land on that. But I'm laughing. I love it. The Trump train is out of the station. Jump on it or get run over. And if you do get run over, it's your fault because you're not getting out of the way. You can get on it. A lot of people are getting on it. And so have a conversation with people, have a conversation with your friends. But this person said, I'm not talking to you guys. This family member, because I'm not talking to you guys anymore. I don't think he said guys, but he said just cut off. I mean, over an election because you had a difference of opinion of who was going to run the country. Well, let me just tell you, an adult is running the country now. The kids are gone. Well, they will be. The kids are gone. When kids run the country, that's the mess that we're in. You got to grow up. You got to be battle tested. Can you, let's look at it. Consequences, elections have consequences. And when you're battle tested, again, back to the PTSG, when you're battle tested in whatever you're doing, you're going to come out stronger if you choose. Now, one candidate chose not to have any conversations with anybody on podcast. Tried to control the couple I think she had. Did it bomb? Yes. Spent well over $1 billion in a short period of time. I'd be pissed if I was a Democratic donor. I'd be pissed. Wasted a whole lot of money because it wasn't her money, somebody else's. But will she make a comeback? She's never been battle tested in her life. But Donald Trump, look at it. 2 assassination attempts, impeachment, prosecution, trying to stop him. Did it stop him? No. He's assembled the most powerful team that we'll ever see in this country. He'll go down as the best president of our lifetime, by far. I think nobody close because he's been battle tested. He's had PTSG, growth. And for you, connect with people, understand people, call them up, talk to them, make the connection. Disregard your texts for right now. So that's I hope I've challenged you. Oops, that's Jeff. You want AI? You can go to pk.me/AI. That's my partner, Jeff Bourgeois. You better be using AI this year. If you're not, it's your choice. And man, you're going to wake up next year and you're going to go, what the heck happened to the world? Because it's going to fly by you like you're standing still. So if you want to get AI, get it. You can get it free in the masterclass. It's number 9. So to recap, connect with people, call people, have conversations with people, and have them intentionally put pressure on yourself, challenge yourself, have an accountability person. And if you want, okay, let me give you I'm going to pitch right here. Okay. Go to collaborate with me at petekane.me/opportunity. We're going to put 100 minimum of magazines in the market this year. 100 minimum. You want to be a part of it? Tell me you're interested. Put some money down, $250 per month, $750, and you're going to be coached by me or a high performance coach. And we're going to coach you on strategy, how to use the 10 steps, how to explode your business, how to create generational wealth. Start the journey now, because you got cryptocurrency, Bitcoin changing, AI is changing, the digital footprint is changing, the entrepreneurial revolution is happening. All these things are happening this year, and you better not miss them, or you're going to be regretting that you didn't take action. Put yourself out there. Create, not consume. Create, not consume. Create, not consume. The average person watches 4 hours of TV. Is that going to get you anywhere? No. Create. Create something. Create a business. Create content. Create a lifestyle. Create connection. But create. All right. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. Putting up with a little longer. I said 10 minutes, but 36. Okay. So I missed it. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Share this with somebody you think could use some networking matters, because networking does matter. Relationships do matter, but you got to do it differently. You're not going to develop connections by texting people. Call people. Thank you so much. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.